Dr. Hubbard noted that his findings were consistent with child abuse, child sexual abuse, and torture.
The Arizona couple accused of torturing their 3 young children, ultimately killing a 10-year-old girl, according to prosecutors, have entered their pleas. And this comes after an hours-long preliminary hearing where the couple had to sit and listen to these horrific accusations made against them. We have gathered some of the most important moments from court as the state now seeks justice for a very vulnerable child. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. You know, childhood's supposed to be fun, right? You're learning about yourself, you're exploring the world, you're hanging out with friends and family, you're having a good time. But according to Arizona prosecutors, 10-year-old Rebekah Baptiste's childhood, at least for the last few years, was a nightmare. And that nightmare ended in late July. This is when EMTs found her unresponsive next to a car on the side of a highway. And this was with her 2 younger brothers looking on from inside the car.
How long has it been since she's been responsive? We don't know. She ran away and they found her in the dirt.
Now, to be clear, Rebekah was covered in bruises and scrapes, and she was dehydrated. Now, she was rushed to different trauma centers to try to save her life, but she died a few days after that body camera footage was recorded. We have to talk about her biological father, Richard Baptiste, and his longtime girlfriend, Anicia Woods, the key players in this case. Why? They told first responders that they had recently moved from Phoenix to an incredibly rural part of Apache County where they've been living in a yurt. It's basically a one-room hut. And they claimed that Rebekah had a history of running away, and that when she ran away that day, a neighbor found her in a drainage ditch and brought her to the yurt on an ATV. Now, apparently having no cell service, not exactly sure where to go, what do they end up doing? They claim they took off in a car, called 911 on the way, although I have to tell you, concern for this little girl seemed to be lacking when you listen to this 911 call with dispatch.
Do you know how to administer CPR? Yes, I do, unfortunately. Are you wanting to start CPR or are you waiting for EMS? I'm waiting for them because I'm trying to get her breath.
Now, Baptiste and Woods face very serious charges: first-degree murder, child abuse, molestation of a child. And prosecutors believe the couple not only abused Rebekah, but also her younger brothers, referred to as KB1 and KB2. This is in court paperwork and during in-person hearings. Then you go to September 4th. That is when a preliminary hearing was held. This is to determine if there was enough evidence for the case to move forward toward trial. And prosecutors had filed what's called a motion for joinder. It's basically combining both Baptiste and Woods cases together, right, into one trial. That was the first thing the judge addressed.
I am aware the motion for joinder, I believe, filed by the state 25th. I'm also aware Mr. Brewer has filed a response and objection that was joined by Mr. Lee on behalf of their clients. I am not prepared to rule on that today. I am prepared to go forward with our both hearings being done at once. For that purpose, I will rule, of course, on the motion for joinder in the appropriate time. To be able to do that, I think the trial issues, of course, are the most pressing and important there, which luckily we don't have to deal with right today. But I would state for all of the parties information that if I make any rulings on admission of evidence or witnesses, ability to testify, etc., that ruling will apply, that admission would apply to both cases for the purposes of today's preliminary hearing only.
Now, for the sake of expediting this, prosecutors called just one witness during this hearing, the lead case agent, Cole Soderquist. He was on the stand for nearly 3 hours. He was talking about everything that was found in this yurt to the children, right, and what they had to say about what life was like.
Has law enforcement spoken to the neighbors throughout the ranch area?
Yes, they have.
And has it been determined that they would be willing to testify at trial?
Yes.
Did you go to Phoenix at some point to work on this investigation?
Yes, I did.
And when you were in Phoenix, what places did you go to?
I went to the Phoenix Children's Hospital. I went to the Empower College Prep. I went to the apartment complex that they lived at. I attended the autopsy. I attended the funeral. And that's it for Phoenix.
And when you spoke to the different teachers and administration at Empower Prep, did you speak to them about being available to testify at trial?
Yes.
And did they indicate that they would?
Yes, they did.
And how about the neighbors at the apartment complex they had lived in just prior to moving here?
Yes.
Were they willing to testify?
Yes, they are.
You talked about multiple medical facilities. There's Phoenix Children's as well as Little Colorado. Is it your understanding that if any subpoenas were served on any of the medical professionals involved in this case, they would testify at trial?
Yes, they would.
Now, you know we've been on top of the story from the very beginning, and we are able to do that because of the incredible support that we get from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. This is America's largest injury law firm. This is a firm with over 1,000 attorneys. You know why they're so big? Because they win a lot. They have recovered over $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. Think about that. In the past few months, a client in Florida received $12 million after the insurance company offered just $350,000. Out in Pennsylvania, a client was awarded $26 million. That is 40 times the insurer's $650,000 offer. You have another client in Pennsylvania who received $29 million after being offered only $500,000. And even if you think your case isn't worth millions of dollars, why not just start a claim and fight for what you deserve? Morgan & Morgan, they make it so simple. You can start a claim from your phone in just 8 clicks. So if you're injured, you can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/LC sidebar by clicking the link below or scanning the QR code on screen. And Deputy Soderquist described what conditions were like in this yurt. It was very isolated, by the way, even from its own neighbors. And it was confirmed that this primitive building had no electricity or running water.
Can you describe briefly for the court the conditions the yurt was at the time that you saw it?
Yes. So at the time that we served the search warrant, when we entered the yurt, it was covered in clothes and trash all over the floor, along with animal feces.
And in terms of the size, can you give an approximate size?
Maybe 20 by 20.
And were there other buildings around?
Yes, there was.
Were those being used based on what you could tell?
Except for the bathroom, no.
And so as you looked around, do you recall the bedding situation?
Yes, I do.
What was the bedding situation like?
There was a queen mattress on the south side. There was an air mattress on the north side, and then a swinging porch pad on the floor next to the queen size bed.
And based on the investigation, the statements or anything, including the statements from the children, did you understand the bedding arrangement?
Yes, I did.
Can you describe that for the court?
Yes, Richard and Anicia stayed in the queen bed on the south side. KB1 and KB2 stayed on the north side on the air mattress, and RB slept on the chair cushion on the floor.
Now, the prosecutor also had the lead investigator talk about the condition that Rebekah was in when she was on the side of the road. She's referred to, by the way, as RB, and also this 911 phone call.
So I want to talk a little bit about how medical professionals got involved. Were there 911 calls?
Yes, there was.
And based on that information, have you reviewed or summarized or seen the summary of the 911 calls?
Yes, I have.
And is there anything that stood out specifically about the 911 calls regarding defendant Woods when asked about if she understood CPR?
Yes, there was.
Object. There's no reasonable likelihood that Ms. Woods is going to be able to testify. This is an out of court statement. It's hearsay. And so I don't believe it's admissible, at least with respect to my client.
All right. I'll overrule the objection and go forward.
So when she was asked about providing CPR, if she knew CPR, what was her response?
Yes, unfortunately.
Based on your understanding from the investigation, did she have a medical background?
Yes.
And what was her medical background?
She was a CNA.
Do you know what CNA stands for?
I do not.
But it's a medical professional in some capacity.
Correct.
Did she describe it in her interview, sort of how long she'd worked?
I believe so.
So let's go back to Officer Williams and the body worn camera that you've reviewed. Have you also reviewed her supplemental report?
Yes, I have.
And so when she first gets on the scene, can you describe what she said, what her condition was?
So when she first arrived on scene, RB was laying flat on her back on the side of the road. The Officer Williams described her as being yellow, unconscious, unresponsive, and she could not find a pulse, so she started CPR.
And did she give any observations in her supplement report about the condition RB was physically, her body?
Yes.
Can you describe that?
She was severely dehydrated and malnourished.
How about any physical aspects in terms of specific things on her body?
She had bruises all over her body. Her lips were really dry and she was yellow in color.
The state submitted 95 exhibits for this hearing, something the defense attorneys had objected to, saying that this was excessive. The judge allowed it in, though. And while they weren't shown publicly, people in the courtroom, they were able to see images admitted into evidence of Rebekah's just absolutely horrific injuries. According to Fox 10 Phoenix, Rebekah's maternal grandparents were in the gallery. They had to hear all of this, and the reporting was they were devastated by what was being shown and what was being said.
Sergeant Rona had contacted me and told me that she had bruises from head to toe. There was injuries to her vaginal and her anus area. She had damaged missing toenails and burn marks on her back that appeared to be consistent with cigarette burns.
What was the information that was provided by Little Colorado to Apache County specific to her dehydration?
That she was so severely dehydrated that she would not be able to walk on her own power.
And then in terms of her head, what was the initial information provided?
She was missing large chunks of hair from her head.
And we also learned more details about Rebekah's condition as she was rushed from the side of the road to these different trauma centers.
She was flown to Phoenix Children's Hospital. Did something change from when she was on the side of the road without a pulse and unconscious to when she got to Little Colorado?
Yes.
And what was that?
That she was brain dead.
And so she was brain dead. Did she have a pulse?
She did not.
At some point, did she get a pulse?
Yes.
Okay.
Right when she got into the ambulance.
She got a pulse when she got in the ambulance on the side of the road.
Yes.
So she goes to Little Colorado and she goes to Phoenix Children. So that's still sort of July 27th into the 28th.
Yes.
And based on your investigation, what happened at the end of this in this part with her at Phoenix Children's Hospital?
RB had passed away.
Now, as I mentioned, Baptiste and Woods, they aren't just accused of being abusive towards Rebekah, but also the other kids, right? Her younger brothers, who are now 6 and 8 years old. Records indicate that when the family lived in Phoenix, school officials had reported concerning statements made by the 3 children, which indicated they might be living in an unsafe environment. In fact, Empower College Prep claims that of the dozen reports it made to the Department of Child Safety, DCS said only 1 rose to the level of an actual investigation. And when the family moved to that yurt in the middle of nowhere, keeping the children out of school, that's when DCS lost track of them. So the prosecutor had this Deputy Soderquist, go over some of the chilling statements that these children made.
So in terms of November of 2023, which child did this report detail?
KB1.
And regarding KB1, what was the report?
That he came to school with scratch marks on the side of his neck.
And the information he provided to the teacher?
Is that his mom did it because he didn't clean up.
Did anything happen after he told his teacher that?
Yes, the following day he recanted his statement and said that it was an accident.
Was there any description of how big the scratches were?
They were approximately 2 inches in length.
So then I'm going to have you next look at February 10th, 2024. And for the record, for this time frame, this was KB1 in November of 2023. He would have been 6.
Yes.
So February 10th of 2024, who was the report involving with Empower that day? Which child?
KB1 as well.
What was the issue?
That he had came to school again with scratch marks on his neck.
Did he give any indication why he had scratch marks on his neck?
He said that he got in trouble and that his mom did it.
And after he said he got in trouble and his mom did it, did he say anything after that happened?
No, he did not.
Direct you to September 13th, 2024. Can you tell us which child that report involved?
Also KB1.
And can you describe what KB1 what the issue was.
He also had scratch marks on his neck and described that his mom did it because he was being bad at home.
And after he described saying that his mom did it because he was being bad at home, did he say anything additional or change the story?
He said that his head hurt and he needed to go to the nurse's office.
Did he come back the next day?
Yes, he did.
When he came back the next day, what did he say had happened?
He stated, never mind, Anicia didn't do this to me. I just fell and hit my head.
Was there DCS follow-up regarding this incident with KB1 involving talking to RB? Like, did they talk to RB after this incident?
I don't know.
In a general perspective, I'm walking through a couple dates and I've got two more for you, but were there more dates than we're discussing?
Yes, there was.
So in looking at October 29th, 2024, can you tell me which child that report involved?
That was RB.
At that time, was she 9 years old?
Yes, she was.
And what was the complaint?
That her ankles were red and that they hurt.
And when she complained, did she describe why her ankles were red and hurting?
Yes, she said that her parents made her run laps outside the apartment complex.
Did she describe when her parents made her run laps in the complex?
Consistently throughout the day.
Did she share any information to the teacher about going home after school?
That she stated she did not want to go home.
She said she didn't want to go home?
Correct.
And based on your investigation with the teachers, how often did she say that?
Pretty frequently.
Later on, when they ask him about his sister, and if he's aware of her being abused, what does she say? What does he say about his sister?
That when she runs in the desert, whenever she gets punished, he was told he's not allowed to talk about what happens to her.
Now, there's also another side here. So Baptiste and Wood's attorneys, they had a chance to question Deputy Soderquist as well. And Baptiste's lawyer, Benjamin Brewer, went first, and he grilled the deputy on cause of death, something that didn't have a definitive answer yet. And this is because the autopsy report hadn't been submitted.
What was the doctor's determination with regard to the cause of death, the cause of her situation where she was?
We don't have the autopsy report yet. I don't know.
Was there indication that there was blunt force trauma to the head?
Yes.
Was there anything that you found in your investigation that determined or showed you that there was abuse or contact with an object to her head? Was there ever any allegation of that? Did anybody admit to anything like that?
I don't know about admitting, but from the photographs that I saw and the injuries to the top of her head, yes.
And would you agree with me those injuries appeared to look as though the hair had been pulled from the scalp? Is that right?
Yes.
And that would be consistent with what you found in the wastebasket of hair that looked like RB's that was connected to a brush.
Yes.
And there were also statements that happened. There was, I believe, and you in the investigation isn't inaccurate that the Ms. Woods indicated that she may have used a brush to pull the hair out of her head, trying to get knots out.
Yes.
Were there any indentations or any kind of clear head injuries apart from that?
No.
Did anyone from medical ever tell you that the cause of death was because of the use of the belt on RB?
Not that I recall.
And is that primarily, physically speaking, the only allegation lodged at Mr. Baptiste was that he used a belt?
I believe so.
Was there ever any indication or something that would suggest that he used a belt buckle as opposed to the other side of the belt?
I don't recall.
In your experience in law enforcement, perhaps personal experience, is oftentimes, maybe not as much now, but a belt is used as a form of corporal punishment sometimes. Is that right?
Sometimes.
Let's talk a little bit more about discipline. You indicated that they indicated that they seem to have been disciplined in perhaps unique ways where they would do running or planks. Is that kind of a strength exercise? I mean, that's what
Yeah.
that is.
I suppose.
And is there a concern about running because it's a form of punishment? Or, I mean, if it was in the context of training the child to be a football player or soccer player, would that concern you as much? Or is it because it's discipline that they're making their child run that concerns you?
It was the discipline and the complaints from the children.
But if he was out there wanting her to be the best athlete and had her running, no issue with that?
I don't know.
And this is really disturbing because the deputy indicated that not only did they document injuries to Rebekah's genitals, but to the boys as well. Baptiste's attorney pushed back, though, on whether those injuries could actually qualify for a charge of molestation.
Did any of the children and RB prior to her death and KB1 and KB2 ever indicate or make an allegation of a sexual nature reference Mr. Baptiste?
Not to my knowledge.
And KB1 and KB2 did go through at least one forensic interview. Is that right?
Yes.
Did they go through a separate forensic interview?
Not yet.
Is that going to happen?
At some point.
During that forensic interview, did they ever disclose that they had been improperly and sexually touched in some way by Mr. Baptiste?
I don't recall.
You would agree with me that's fairly important when you're charging, when the charges are for my clients.
Objection, speculation.
I'll sustain the objection.
So you are the case officer,
Yes.
and one of the charges is molestation of a child. You're aware of that?
Yes.
And that would be KB2.
Yeah.
And you're unaware of what statements he's made regarding any kind of sexual stuff that has happened.
I would need to refer to the report for exact details for you.
The reports you're referring to have all been admitted into evidence. Is that right?
Yes.
And if the court needs to review those, the court can.
Yes.
And Brewer also pointed out that while his client was accused of some abuse, the majority of the allegations the children made were against the woman considered their stepmother, Anicia Woods.
Did any of the children ever indicate to you that Mr. Baptiste combed RB's hair?
No.
With regard to the allegations made pertaining to abuse from the children during your investigation, were more allegations made toward Ms. Woods or Mr. Baptiste?
As far as
The number of accusations made as far as who was doing the primary punishment or whatever you want to call it.
they had stated, came from both of them. They just got it the worst from Mrs. Woods.
Okay, but I'm saying in all of the documentation, the reports to the schools, the reports to whoever else wasn't Ms. Woods more oftentimes listed as the aggressor in that as opposed than Mr. Baptiste?
Yeah.
Now, this was interesting because during his opportunity to question this witness, Woods' lawyer made the point, how can you actually charge Woods and Baptiste when the final autopsy report hadn't been released?
You have any idea where these injuries were committed? Any evidence of where they were committed? Where she was injured? Where?
No.
Okay. In Maricopa County, you told us a lot about some previous DCS referrals and whatnot. These people only been in Apache County 3 weeks, right?
Yes.
And so a lot of the stuff that you told us about happened in Phoenix, the running around the apartment house and all that stuff, right?
Which led into Apache County, yes.
Okay. And as far as the lack of the autopsy report, we just don't know why she died, do we?
I can't say for sure.
Okay, so you have no evidence of the cause of her death, correct?
Objection.
I'll sustain the objection.
What's the basis of the sustaining that objection?
And as of right now, you're asking him to speculate where or asked and answered, given the fact that he says the autopsy report is not here yet. That would be the evidence. We are in a.
Mr. Lee, you asked him if he has no evidence There's already been evidence entered in today's hearing regarding the cause of death.
Okay.
Not a final cause.
So what is the evidence of the cause of death? What's the conclusion of the cause of death? Somebody concluded that yet?
I would have to read the doctor's reports for exact details.
Didn't they just say it's consistent with abuse and whatnot? Is that all they said?
That's not all they said, but I'd have to refute.
Did they come to a conclusion of the cause of death?
Yes.
Well, could you find the report and indicate that to us, please?
If I can review, I would need to review the report. Yes.
Okay. Did you get the report? I mean, who said that? And what did they say?
As soon as I get the report, I'll be able to tell you.
Okay, you can't remember what they said the cause of death was?
Which doctor?
Any doctor.
Okay, they didn't give.
Any doctor say what the cause of death was?
I would have to review the report.
You can't remember one right now.
I can remember what the injuries being consistent of, which led to her death.
Well, my point is, if we don't know what the cause of death is, how do we know who did what caused her death?
I'll strike the question. Go ahead, Mr. Lee.
Other than the two parents, the complaint says that they each participated in that. Do you have evidence of participation in the cause of death? Not the scratches and the bruises and everything. You have any evidence of who caused her death?
Aside from them admitting to hitting her and it being excessive force.
Are you claiming as part of the complaint where you say child abuse, does that include a messy house? Is that part of the child abuse?
Yes, it is.
And what was there that presented danger to the children again?
The animal feces all over the floor.
Okay.
And the no water, and the no power.
Now, at the end of the hearing, the judge determined the cases could be bound over for trial, and on September 8th, the pair were arraigned and entered not guilty pleas, and we will, of course, continue this awful case and the pursuit of justice for Rebekah. And that is all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. As always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow me on X or Instagram. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll see you next time.